were some of your early struggles? I mean, you sound like you had a lot of success really fast. I think a lot of people that are watching this right now would love to have that kind of success today. What were some of the early struggles? It wasn't just rainbows and unicorns.
Oh man, 20 some years. If I could look back at some of those times that were hard, it's like, man. But just like they say, I mean, anytime a door closes or anytime something happens, there's a silver lining, you know? So I look at those and I say, man, there's a lot of good things that come out of it. So I compare a lot my first 10 years to my second 10 years. Mm-hmm. So you say that and it's like, you look like you had a lot of success. Well, that friend that that invested with me ended up getting a lawsuit with him. So that took...
You had a lawsuit with him?
Yeah. So long story short, we didn't have an agreement in writing.
Mm-hmm.
We started having some success, and his dad got in his head of, you don't have anything in writing, you're providing the money, you should get more than 50%.
Yeah.
So that was my first big lesson, is get everything in writing. Anything you do, get it in writing.
He was a friend.
He was a friend.
Still a friend?
He actually apologized after months of going round and round, admitted he was wrong, and that kind of thing. So,
but I think this is something that's really important for a lot of people right now, because they're talking about partnerships, joint venturing, this and that, and it seems like it'd be easy. It's just like, hey, let's shake hands and we got a deal. Because I'm that kind of guy. I'm a handshake guy. I actually got, what's the word, chastised last night for for still being that guy, right? But I think that for people that are watching, I think there's a valuable lesson here.
Well, it depends on what it is too, right?
Yeah.
Because if you and I said we're going to promote each other or do something, I can handshake that.
Yeah.
I mean, we run around with a lot of the same people. Our reputations are on the line,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I do something to you, it's going to get around, vice versa.
Right.
But when it's something like a friend you're going into business with and they're not, or you guys aren't in the spotlight or aren't in a community together where it's going to tarnish your relationship, it's easy for someone to screw someone else
Mm-hmm.
when a lot of other people won't find out, right?
Right.
So it just depends on the situation,
Yeah.
I think.
So then I guess if you were to do it over again, right, you say get it in writing, what would be involved in getting things in writing in a brand new partnership?
Oh, it's so simple. I do JV partnerships all the time with people. It's very simple. It can be as easy as a one-page document, which I've done before.
Mm-hmm.
There's some times where we do LLCs together, and we put a property or properties in an LLC. So I have formats for some of the things that I do. So I've had an attorney draw it up, and then if we have a certain format, we just plug that in. We don't always need an attorney to fill in the blanks. A lot of it's pretty simple. But there are times where it's more complex. I'll send it to my attorney. We pay him a few $100 to $1,000 to put it together, and it's well worth the money because we know it's done right.
Right. So parted ways in a bad situation. Did you lose everything? I mean, so you got 10 properties, right? We're talking about the first year. Like you guys are 50-50 or supposedly 50-50
Mm-hmm.
on those 10 deals.
Yeah.
So when you're saying you had to sue him, we're talking about those same properties?
Well, actually, he sued me.
Oh, okay.
He got an attorney and said, hey, we don't have anything in writing. I'm providing all the money. I should get more than 50%, right?
Yeah.
Go round and around. He writes me this big letter and apology. Doesn't even call me.
Mm-hmm.
Writes me a letter, apologizes, said, you can have all the properties. Just give me my investment back. Perfect. Great. We had hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity in these properties, and you want I think it was like 50 or 60 grand. So we take that money and, kept rolling it over to different properties. And okay. So again, it was a learning lesson. It was tough at the time because I'm thinking, man, I'm early in my career and I'm already getting sued in my first partnership.
It's not your last lawsuit.
No, it's not my last. Already in a couple right now. It just happens. You're in business so long and you do enough things.
So
right?
let me ask you this, if you don't mind answering this question.
Yeah.
How many lawsuits have you been involved in?
Well, I wouldn't count small claims. So we have tenants and stuff that,
Yeah, disregarding small claims.
Oh, we're in 2 pretty decent sized ones right now that I know I'm going to win. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to be cocky about it, but it's just, there's so much evidence against them. They're contractors.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, I don't know, 6, 8, something
Yeah.
like that, where it's, significant enough to talk about.
So, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because like the very first lawsuit you get is like the very first time you get a letter from the IRS and you're like, oh man, this sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, okay, you just get letters from the IRS. Well, the very first time you get served is awful. Now it's just like, oh, that's just the cost of doing business. You get totally desensitized to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I've said this before, is that if you're not getting sued, you're not doing enough business.
Exactly.
And you feel the same way.
I say that all the time. Yep.
So, all right. So